and when it develops. Let's now take you to Kisumu and join our reporter Kevin Ogutu, who will give us an update on the investigations into the killing of CEC nominee for transport for Homabay County. The nominee, Donny Opar, was shot dead on Friday last week. Kevin, good to see you this morning. What more do we know?
Well, a very good morning, and as we speak right now, the latest that we have from the DCI Homabay County is that no arrest has been made so far after the murder of nominee for transport and infrastructure for Homabay County government, who is Philemon Donny Opar. Donny Opar was shot on Friday night while reconciling the day's collection together with his attendants at his petrol station in Kendu Bay. Now, so far, when Donny Opar passed on, he was with 6 other people at his petrol station in Kendu Bay, and these were his nephew, come aide Samuel Otieno, his driver, his bodyguard, petrol station security, and 2 of his attendants. Now, according to the DCI, the 5 out of these 6 have so far been interrogated and let to go home. No arrest has been made so far as we speak, but I'm made to understand that a team of detectives are already on the ground trying to really comb a bit of information that will lead to arrest of those who are culpable for this gruesome murder of 60-year-old Donny Opar. Now, a bit of a background here is that on this particular night, this was just about 4 days to his swearing in as the nominee for transport and infrastructure in Homabay County government. On Wednesday of this week, he was supposed to be sworn in as the CEC in charge of transport and infrastructure. This was occasioned by the reshuffle that Homabay Governor Cyprian Awiti made on the February 22nd after the Supreme Court upheld his victory, and he moved David Okeo from the roads, transport and infrastructure to trade and cooperatives after the person who was holding that docket, Karila Sademba, resigned. So this now created a vacancy in the docket of transport and infrastructure, and he nominated Donny Opar, who is a politician and also a businessman, to fill this gap, and was successful enough to be vetted and to be given the green light by the County Assembly of Homabay. Now, something that is interesting here, and the question that the DCI will be trying to unearth, is what could have been the motive. Was it murder, or was it a straightforward assassination? Maybe more related to the assignment that was ahead of him, that was taking over that docket of transport and infrastructure. But that is, we leave it to the DCI to unearth that. But it's also important to note that as the DCI continues the investigations, trying to really find out what could have been the motive of the killing and whether they could really lay their hands on the culprits who are responsible for this murder. It is important to note that this is not the first of such attacks in Homabay County. Since 2014 to date, we've had such 3 attacks, gun attacks rather, and there have been 2 fatalities that have resulted from such attacks. The first one on the county official was, one of the leaders in Homabay County was Kibiri MCA Boaz Odhiambo, who was shot dead in the year 2014 while at his home. Kibiri MCA Boaz was very vocal in the fight against graft in the county assembly and also in the executive in the Homabay County government, and it is probably due to this that he met his death. But again, this particular death has not been resolved, in as much as it was in the public domain that he was very vocal when it comes to highlighting graft and corruption in the county government of Homabay. Apart from that, last year, Maurice Amek, a senior accountant in the county assembly of Homabay, was also shot while entering his home in Homabay town. So this is now the 3rd of its kind and the 2nd fatality that is robbing the county of Homabay of its senior officials. Now, this is a matter that has elicited a number of reactions from leaders and also from family, everyone saying that the DCI has to do what it can do to ensure that those who are culpable are brought to book. It was on Thursday that the late Donny Opar made a very big cry to the authorities to ensure that they nab those people he suspected could be up to no good. And as unfortunate as it turned out, just a day after that, he made that appeal to the authorities that there was a gang of people who were roving around the villages in motorbikes. Opar met his death. So as it stands right now, being informed by the DCI officers that they are doing the much that they can to really try to get the suspect and also to collect enough evidence so that they can find people whom they can formally charge in the courts. Of course, as I mentioned earlier on, there is pressure from also the public, especially given that this is the third of its kind, such attack on a very senior official. This was somebody who was designated to be the county executive committee member for transport and infrastructure. And just 4 days before he can assume that office, he meets his death in such really mind-boggling situation. So as it stands right now, I'm meant to understand that the DCA staff are on the ground trying to really make sure that they get the suspects who are responsible for this.
All right, many thanks. That is Kevin Ogutu live for us there from Kisumu on the investigations on the death of the late Donny Opar, the Transport and Infrastructure CEC nominee for Homabay.